Hey everyone, it's Mike from Mike Olson Art. I hope everyone's having a great day today. As usual, thank you guys so very much for taking the time out of your day to come check in and hear me talk a little bit more about some of the art cards that I've been working on. I've got a real fun card I want to share with you guys today. As you can see, there's a little bit of holiday decoration going on. It's right after Thanksgiving when I'm recording this, and we're getting close to Christmas. And this card that I want to share with you guys today is actually a Christmas gift from one collector to another. Today we're going to be looking at card number 37 from series number 3. And this is a special card because it's really the first time I've done a card like this. I know if you guys have followed me for a while, you'll notice that I have no problem doing reproductions of most cards. Anything photographic, anything existing, usually isn't a big deal. They're fun to reproduce. They're fun to make a new version of, but when it comes to art cards and cards that feature artwork, it's a little bit different, and I've kind of steered away from doing cards like that, especially cards that feature artwork from the incredible Dick Perez. He was somebody that I grew up admiring. As a collector in the 80s, his cards were just huge. They were the first time, kids like me had seen artwork on a baseball card, and it was just a huge thing for me. So normally I don't reproduce any of Dick's cards, but I wanted to do one tribute, just to show my appreciation for Dick and everything that he kind of started up in me as an artist. So a really cool collector, somebody that has reached out before and done cards with me, reached out and wanted to do a really special card for Christmas for a really special collector friend of his who collects Rickey Henderson. So today we're going to be looking at a card that I did for that gift, and it is the 1992 Donruss Elite Legends Rickey Henderson card, and it's right here. Alright guys, this card is probably one of the most difficult cards I have ever attempted, and it's one of the most amazing. Like I said, Dick Perez was a huge inspiration for me growing up, and it was really nice to get to do a really small tribute to his work. I don't know where I would have been without Dick's work, so why don't we just dive right in and see what went into making this really unique card. Alright guys, so here is our handmade 1992 Donruss Elite Legends card featuring the one and only late great Rickey Henderson. This card has a lot going on. I'm not going to lie, this is probably one of the most difficult cards I have ever attempted. There's just so much going on in this card. I'll try and kind of touch on, everything I can, but, this is just an amazing Dick Perez card. He worked for 15 years with Donruss, starting in 1982, where he did a 26-player set, a Diamond Kings subset for Donruss, and, ever since then, he kind of has elevated cards from, just being a trading card to a piece of artwork, that you want to, have and hold on to. And for kids like me who were artistic growing up, Dick Perez was just absolutely huge. He was a huge, he was just somebody that I wanted to draw like. I wanted to do what Dick was doing, and, just constantly inspired by him. So, this is my chance to do a little bit of a tribute to Dick, and also help out a friend who really wanted a cool gift for his friend for Christmas. So, this is a holographic card. I'm going to put the original down here. If you have not seen this card before, it is pretty amazing. This is all kind of a hologram type card that I have tried to do my best to kind of reproduce with paint. I use the paint that I have that is a little bit reflective. You can kind of see it here. It's not super in your face, but when you have this actual card and you kind of move it around in the light, you can see a bit of a shimmer. So all of this, these little triangles were painted one by one and it was just kind of trying to replicate that hologram feel from the original. Down here we've got some really interesting, I call it the Led Zeppelin text, because this text looks a lot like something from a Led Zeppelin album. Kind of hides in there because it's down in this really complicated hologram part down here, but this was definitely one of the trickier things to work on. Rickey's name up at the top. I think I've mentioned before, anytime you need to put white text on just about anything, it's definitely not the easiest thing, and usually I have to go over those twice to get that white to kind of pop. So looks really good here. I'm really happy with how it came out. And then this really boils down to this image in the center that was created by Dick. It's kind of a mashup between two images of Rickey, a bit of a surrealist kind of background here, with a little touch of realism, because that's a real chunk of the field behind him. So just a really interesting kind of motif here, having Rickey kind of framed above himself, and having this weird kind of surrealist pattern back here. But it was super interesting, and it seemed simple at the time, but when I got into it, it definitely wasn't as easy as I thought, especially getting these lines to kind of slowly move from dark red to yellow. But just really happy with how all this stuff came out. Rickey looks great. Both portraits of him I'm really happy with. So that is our card front. We're going to flip this over. This is not my typical card back. The customer for this one wanted to do something special, and he initially suggested we replicate the back, which I was not able to do. There was too much coloring, too much paint that needed to be on the back, and I can only really paint one side of these fully. The water tends to warp the card, and if I do one side, the other side's going to be warped. So I usually do these backs first, so that they are nicely done, nice and clean, and then I'll flip it over and I'll start on the front because it's nice and flat, because there hasn't been much paint back here. So we did most of the writing from the back of the card. We couldn't fit it all, so I fit as much as I could. And down here we decided to do the numbering a little bit different. The client wanted it to be 939 at a 7500, and so we'd put that down here. It was originally up here, and like the front, I'm going to put a picture of the back down here so you can see kind of the inspiration for this one. But yeah, just really nicely done, I think. Very clean back. I kind of had to sign it in a different spot, so this whole thing looks a lot different than my normal card back, but it was kind of a fun challenge to try and replicate that card back without doing it, exactly the way it showed up on the actual card. So that is our card back. And then one more look at our card front. The super, super unique, super complex Rickey Henderson by the amazing Dick Perez. All right, everyone. So that's the story behind, this really, really unique, really complicated, but really, really amazing card from the amazing Dick Perez. Just a fantastic tribute, and I hope that not only the person getting this card loves it, but I hope if Dick saw it that he would really enjoy, my take on his really cool card. So thank you so much to the collector that reached out and wanted to do this one. All right, guys, this is the time where I always say there's no card we can't make. Whether it's an existing card like the one I did today, or whether it's a card that exists only in your brain. We can mash things up, we can push things together, we can twist things up. Nothing is impossible. So if you have an idea for a card, you can always reach me here on Instagram. You can send me a direct message, or you can head over to Mike Olson Art, and you can get in touch with me that way. But either way, I'd love to hear your ideas. So thank you guys, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.